I did dream of my wedding growing up. And that's not to say that I didn't dream of the bigness of my life. And, as much as grief does surface for me around not having children and not having a partner, I still wouldn't want the wrong partner.
That's a great point for people to hear.
I'm not interested in that. You have to make my life better. It can't just be, I'm in a relationship to be in a relationship. So even though the grief does emerge and that comes and I hold that, I think of what I've done. And I woke up every morning trying to do my best. I didn't wake up one morning and be like, I'm going to mess this day up.
That's right.
So I must be where I'm supposed to be. And I don't know. Sometimes I think of all of the things I've done, the courage that I've had to have and what I've had to learn how to navigate as a single person with no one to hide behind.
Yeah.
And it's built a really beautiful experience around me. And
Tracey has been very wise to stay single and child-free. If she knew she hasn't met the right partner, people can knock her for saying as much, but imagine how many divorces and abortions would have been avoided if people were more self-aware.
My issue with comments like this is, why do we assume that she's so self-aware? And this self-love, everybody get in tune with themselves movement, we just assume that because somebody asserts that, yes, I'm fully, in tune with who I am and I haven't met the right person. That's what people would conveniently say in any situation. If you ask any woman or man who's 30s and 40s and 50s and unmarried, or they always say the thing is, I just haven't found the right person yet. It's a convenient explanation, but it doesn't hold any historical weight typically. Most of human history, people were married not by finding the quote unquote right person, but by finding the person they were arranged to be with by their parents. And so this whole, we have to find the right person thing, is what is that based off of? What is the right person? Have we asked the person to list what that right person is? And we would have asked them when they were 19 versus 25 versus 30 to 45. Would they say something different about the right person is? The right person changing? Will there ever really be a right person?
Yeah, I was going to say, they said self-aware, but like, how do we know? Because they said she avoided abortions and stuff like that because she was self-aware and she didn't find that right. She knew she didn't find that right person. But like, how do we know that she's not like, man, I should have been with Daryl. I should have stayed with Daryl. He really was a good guy. So I don't know.
When everything's aren't going that way, we say hope deferred makes the heart sick. And out of a sick heart flows the issues of life. And out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. When you have a sick heart, you start to speak things coming from a sick heart, which you may suppress what the truth really is. How many times have you been interacting with somebody and they're saying, I don't really want this. That's what they really want. Anybody who has children, that's the case. Anybody who's been around, who's been in some type of management or had to lead a team, people will say, oftentimes express things and make it seem like they don't desire things. One of the tenets of Buddhism is, the end of all suffering is the end of all desire. If you don't have a desire, you can't suffer. Yeah. So you'll see people that will deny they have certain desires because it means that they don't have to really suffer. At least that's what they're telling themselves. But their suppression, all that stuff is raising their cortisol levels and they're on antidepressants and all kind of different things. Because the truth of the matter is we were made to be together, women and men. And we really weren't made to be hooking up this late in life. If we're going to be real.
That's interesting because I did notice the change from just working a regular job with then going into sales. It's like, you meet people at a regular job and they'll be like, life ain't all about money. And then you go to sales and it's like money, 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 money. They like they're champion. They're like, that's what, it's all about. So,
yeah. So,
on this show,
this is the hottest show on the planet right now.
What's the debate?
Ain't no debate.